Hello, welcome to another actually this is our first Kuwentuhan episode of the two brokers of the Daily Broker podcast. Hello partner, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So, in contrast to the last episode, we're now not broadcasting from two parts of the world, but in two parts of the Philippines, right? So, hello,
Yes,
welcome,
correct.
welcome to the Daily Broker Podcast. My name is Lloyd, live from Antipolo City, and with me is my partner. Introduce yourself.
Yes, good morning. I'm Ice Calderon and I'm
Uh, uh,
broadcasting live from Santa Rosa, or we're both broadcasting pala from the south, Calabarzon,
oh,
diba?
yeah, I was about to say
Although Rizal is in
Calabarzon.
the east. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Pero yung Calabarzon is in, Bel.
Calabarzon is the south. Yan.
Is
So
the
para
south.
tayong nasa Calabarzon area.
Oh, southeast. Oh, sige, ano tayo? Meet up, meet up.
Sige,
Southeast.
sige, meet halfway tayo.
All right. Sige, so we just ako, you're fresh off of your trip from
Mhm.
your usual in Dubai, and of course, as a person who's never been there, you always treat me to all of these stories. So I'd like to just record our usual kwentuhan session and make it something that will be part of the Daily Broker podcast para all of our friends tuning in, of course, in part with our partners from Negosentro and Property Finance Asia. Shout outs to everyone there and our friends in those
Yes,
two
hello.
publications. And actually, ano lang, banggitin ko that the first episode went really well. So I think this should also do as well as the last one. But syempre,
Yeah.
ngayon wala kaming guest. So magsawa muna kayo sa aming mga But
Anyway, first time naman nila maririnig ng kukwentuhan tayo.
correct, correct. And this is I mean, I'm sure my partner could, fill up the room when it comes to, making sure the stories are well overflowing. Sige, so welcome back again. Welcome back to being repatriated to the Philippines.
Parang ano, parang expat, pero actually hindi naman.
Sige.
Okay,
Okay, sige.
let's do this.
Sige, so kwento mo naman kami about, Dubai in general. Like, what do you do there and, like your usual itinerary.
Kasi
Why
'di
are
ba
you?
you always ask me, why do you keep going back to
Yeah.
Dubai? Okay, so since 2013, if I'm not mistaken with the year, parang every year, nandoon ako. And then, in most recent times, parang for the past 5 years, it's been like a twice a year thing. So we stay there for like 3 weeks, maximum ng 1 month, ganyan. But
Mm,
it's all vacation. So no work, no work to do. Parang ano, it's really more about,
right.
taking a break from work. We deserve it. Yan yung
Yan,
mga
yan,
punchline
yan,
natin.
yan.
We deserve it. So sa mga nanonood, if you want to take your vacation, Dubai is one of the places to go to. I really, really love it. So,
Oo.
yeah.
Mm.
And syempre, tatanungin niyo ako, bakit? Di ba?
Oo, sige. Okay lang. Pero kwento mo na din yung mga gastos mo sa Sephora, yung mga ganun. Hindi, joke lang.
Ay, wag,
Tingnan
wag.
natin. Sorry.
Baka,
Baka narikinig
baka
yung
may,
nanay mo. Okay.
baka may
Sige.
nanay ko.
Sige. So,
Baka mag tayo.
I'm happy that, you have that yearly sort of break from,
Mhm.
as much as we both love the Philippines. I know it's very worthwhile to just look at other,
Yeah.
cultures, other places, and just be yourself. Alam mo yun, yung
Yes.
be nobody pretty much in a big city. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a very humbling experience. If here in the Philippines, naman how busy we are
Yes,
individually, and lalo
correct.
ikaw, I mean, you are in pretty much in sales your whole life. So,
Yeah.
you knowing all of these people at every corner, right? And
Yeah.
in Dubai, it's just a new face altogether every
Yeah.
time, right? So I'm happy
A
for you.
stranger.
As
It's nice to be a stranger,
It's
Lloyd.
nice to be a stranger, I suppose.
Yeah, it's nice to be a stranger. Like, wala kang masyadong, you wouldn't really care so much about this and that. Kasi like,
Mm.
of course, here we have to maintain that, that glam all the time. Kasi you probably will bump into someone who you
Correct.
know, or be a
Correct.
client, ganyan. But in Dubai kasi, it's a good feeling to just be nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Lakad-lakad ka
correct.
lang,
Correct.
no
Correct.
care in the world, di ba?
Mm.
It's a good experience. And I don't just do that naman in Dubai. I also do that outside of Manila. Kasi nga, outside of Manila, parang very rare naman may makakasalubong ka na kakilala mo. So it's very good. Traveling is really something that I always do. And it refreshes me and it gives you a fresher perspective about life. And it also makes you feel as if, hindi lang puro work. Kasi, di ba, I mean, lagi nating naririnig to, cliche, but life is short. you never know, diba? You never know when you get the chance. So when you get the chance, take it. Or you create the chance to travel. Kasi hindi po pwedeng puro work lang tayo. It's gonna bore us to death. And at the
Mm.
same time, parang hindi ka nagkakaroon ng bagong perspective about your work and your life in general.
You're right, right. And doon naman, even from the, okay, so background there, guys. No? So IS has been, uh, as I mentioned, doing, it's bread and butter na talaga yung sales. For me, it's really, has been with marketing some of the bigger developers here in the Philippines. And that's the usual process when it comes to how to upgrade the current state of developers, ganyan. So our bosses usually go abroad to all of these very developed countries and
Correct.
just take, kasi pretty much ang sabi sa akin ng boss ko, pare-parehas naman semento yan. No, pare-parehas naman.
Correct.
I mean, you could, whatever you build there could be built here. Parehas bakal at
Correct.
semento yan. So
Correct.
yeah, so it's just really, it's just really about that, discovering what's working for other countries and making sure that
Mm.
you bring it back to the Philippines, and
Yeah.
you try to elevate as much as you can the current living conditions of the Filipino people, one real estate development at a time. Sige.
Yeah.
So
Very nice.
thank you. Thank
That
you.
sounded very marketing, but yes.
Yes. Thank you. I hope I could say that I'm good at my job. But
Yes,
sige.
you are.
Yeah, but yan. So I think it's a good way for you to rediscover yourself, no? So I mean, rediscover other people, rediscover yourself as well.
Mm.
Ganda. Sige, mamaya papakita si Ice ng mga videos of her exploits, in walking around Dubai as as both as a tourist and sort of a resident, because as you mentioned, for the past 10 years you've been going there on a very scheduled basis, sometimes twice a year. So you pretty much know the place like the back of your hand. 'Di ba may
Yeah.
may for comparison ka, 'di ba? Sabi mo parang
Gino
mas
Gino-joke ko
kabisado
nga,
mo.
oo nga eh, gino-joke nga kita lagi, 'di ba, na mas kabisado ko yung Dubai kesa Quezon City. Kasi like
Mm.
na-realize natin, I mean, based on Google, ang
Mm.
ano pala is, ang Dubai is really tiny compared to Quezon City. So medyo mahirap talagang i-memorize pala, to be fair to me. Lagi mo akong gino-joke eh.
Mm.
So, to be fair to me, mahirap talaga kabisado yung Quezon City kesa Dubai. Because Dubai is a lot smaller than Quezon City. So,
Right.
for comparison, so for those of you who are watching, mas maliit talaga si Dubai compared to Metro Manila.
You have the
Metro
numbers? Why
Manila,
don't you?
buong Metro Manila, I think, is a lot bigger than the entire UAE eh. So, maybe
Mm.
lang. Kasi sobrang laki ng ng Pilipinas compared to the Emirates.
Okay.
Okay, so
Sige.
I think
Sige.
na
Well,
kailangan natin i-check 'yan.
oo nga
Paano
eh. Ba't ka magbibigay ng
mag-fact
mga
check tayo?
magbibigay ka ng mga numbers, ma-quote ka dyan. Yung Quezon City, alam natin na it's almost 5 times as big as Dubai. But yung UAE, hindi natin sure. Pero sige.
Okay, so check natin. That's 2,900 hectares. Kung tama itong binabasa ko ngayon.
Ah.
2,900 hectares si Dubai, and then si Quezon City is 16,000 hectares.
So 5 times, more than 5 times
Yeah.
if we are to base
So
it
yeah,
on that.
diba?
Sige.
So it's really tiny, but it's super developed. So which is one of the things I really love about it.
Yeah, so what do you love about it aside from that? And what do you dislike?
Aside from real estate.
Yeah.
Kasi syempre, as a real estate practitioner, that's the first thing you really appreciate about a place.
Right.
So what I really love about it is yun nga, culture, melting pot of culture.
Mm.
So it's a very open emirate. So lahat talaga ng cultures you will see it there. And of course, another thing is yung mga malls.
Mm.
Syempre, I mean, to those of our friends who are watching right now, I'm pretty sure yun yung inaabangan nilang sasabihin ko. Malls, yeah.
Right. Mm.
They have huge malls na I think the tiniest that they have is as big as, let's say, SM Mega Mall, ganyan, the
Mm.
tiniest. So, yun yung ano nila, yung mga malls nila. Tapos, ano pa ba? A lot of things to love about Dubai, but I would just give yung mga sa tingin ko notable, no? Kasi like I have so many things that I love about Dubai, even the tiniest ones, for example, restrooms. Ang gaganda ng mga
Right.
restrooms.
Sure. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Also being a supporter of yung differently abled people, what I really like about Dubai is that they are very parang PWD friendly. So everywhere you see talagang makikita mo is very inclusive. So yung mga structures, meron talagang mga ramp at na ramp for people who are, in wheelchair, ganyan. Which is one of the things that I also look forward to seeing in the Philippines. Kasi syempre hindi pa lahat, no? I mean, be completely honest about it. Hindi pa lahat ng structures may magandang facilities for people with PWD. Yun yung nakita kong talagang sobrang minahal ko about Dubai. It's very inclusive.
Right.
For people from all walks of life, from different cultures, and from people who are abled and differently abled.
Nice. I mean, people with PWD, sorry napansin ko.
Oo nga, people with PWD. Hindi kasi inaalala ko kung ano yung tawag nila. Kasi remember I posted it on my Facebook that they don't call them people with disabilities. So, kalimutan ko eh. I should remember that. Sige, mamaya.
Well, I didn't see that post, but sige, let me share.
Next time itatag kita.
Sige, pakitag ako para informed and cultured din ako when it comes to that. No,
Yes,
but a very international lifestyle.
People of determination. That's it.
I love it.
Diba?
People of
determination.
What?
I was
Sobrang
like,
galing.
Yeah, diba? So, when I saw a ramp, sabi, people of determination, sabi ko, so dapat determined ka bago aakyat sa ramp. And then I realized, okay, so for people on a wheelchair.
Ang galing.
So that's PWD here. People
Good
of
job,
determination, very nice, diba?
Right. As a marketing person kasi, it starts with the name. If you call it a certain way, like people of determination, it sort of gives a certain pride and
yes.
To it. Ang galing. All of these stories, provide this picture of Dubai as a very international, lifestyle-oriented city. As obviously, Dubai is a cosmopolitan city with a very diverse population. So,
yeah.
And yan nga, very, very, very modern and forward-looking. And I know, in the Philippines, mabanggit ko lang, in the Philippines kasi, there are, there are these futuristic and globally competitive cities that we are aspiring to have. Like for example, syempre BGC comes into mind kasi that is the first after all. But then yun nga siguro pinaka-developed. But of course, you have the likes also of New Clark City, which, eventually...
You are very biased to it.
Yes, I love. Okay, so para sa lahat ng aming friends, as a broker, if you ask me kung saan ka mag-i-invest, wag ka nang magulat pag sinabi kong Clark. Okay?
Parang lahat ng podcast natin sinabi mo to. So.
Yeah, I will bet my money on it. Like, whatever little's left of my money, I will bet on it. That Clark will really be the next big thing for, of course, not financial advice, but just if you ask me and if you trust me as a broker and as a friend. Yeah. So, yeah, but again, that's not the point. The point is, we have all of these efforts. Yun nga sinasabi ko. Kasi nga, bato at baka lang naman to, ayos diba? Lahat naman tong mga developments na to. It just really has to, in terms of mindset, nasa mindset mo nga lang yung kailangan. Like for example, New Clark City is 300 hectares. I mean, and that's not even within Clark, yung legacy, the legacy Clark, the bigger Clark.
300 hectares, si NCC.
Yeah, NCC is 300. So, I mean, more or less.
Wait lang, may pa-trivia ako.
Sige.
So, mas malaki pa yung UP Diliman.
Talaga ba?
Diba? Kasi UP Diliman is 400 plus hectares.
Talaga? Okay. Nagulat ako kasi yun nga, well, I as as my alma mater, I kind of always picture it as a very small place kasi parang I could picture it. Like, the moment I enter or drive through University Avenue, I could pretty much navigate my way with my eyes closed. So,
like the back
laki
of
pala,
your...
no? Yeah. Laki pala, no? So, parang siyang mall sa Dubai or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hindi naman. Siguro isang place in Dubai, ganyan. Isang
so,
village. Or
what do you dislike about it, if any?
If there's any, actually, a lot to love kasi, of course, isa pa sa mga sobrang love ko, yung malls kasi hanggang alas 12 ng gabi. Okay, a lot of hours to shop. Okay, what to dislike? I think it's just the temperature. Kasi as you know, I mean, I have my medical condition that prevents me from being under the sun for too long. So I think yun lang. The temperature can go as I think ang pinakamalalang na experience ko is 40-ish degrees,
That's
which is
pretty
a
hot.
lot of just a lot of heat.
Mm.
Um so yun, it's also very dry, no? So it's okay. So ang temperature doon, for those of you who haven't been there yet, parang just to picture how hot it is, parang magtapat ka ng hair dryer sa skin mo. That's how hot can be. And then that's how it feels like.
Mm.
Mainit siya pero sobrang dry.
Mm.
So, even if you're under the sun for too long, hindi ka, anong tawag doon? Hindi ka hulas. Ayun, hindi mo mawawala yung makeup mo kasi nga dry siya eh.
Right,
Yun.
right.
Unlike dito, 'di ba,
Oo.
pagka under the sun, kapag papawisan ka sobra-sobra, there hindi eh. Para
Siguro
ka
nga.
lang po sa microwave. Ganun.
Sarap naman nun. Kasi parang
Oo,
imagine the only downside to where you are is just the temperature, which you can't do anything about. Aside
correct.
from just use an AC. I mean, yun lang eh. Diba? But otherwise, it's right smack within the
No,
equator. So what can you really
no,
do
but
about
the
that?
thing is, even though it's really hot, kasi lahat ng walkways may AC, lahat ng dadaanan mo may air condition. If you're waiting for a bus, there's an air conditioned place where you can stay.
Galing.
Sa loob ng train station, which I
Mm.
also love. Yung train station, may AC din. So, hindi
Grabe.
ka hindi ka mahuhulas. Like,
Yeah.
okay lang kahit mag-move ka from one place to another. Which is what I really like about it. Kasi if I'm meeting my friends, I can meet 5 friends from different places of Dubai in one day
Mm.
because of the ease of transportation.
Grabe. Grabe yung quality of life. Ano? And
Yes.
hopefully, and yung mga
And
cities naman
safety.
natin.
Safety pala. I love
Yeah.
I love how safe Dubai is.
Yeah,
You can leave
very
your
low crime rate, no?
Yes, and you can literally leave your things. So for example, 'di ba sa atin sa Pinas, if magre-reserve ka ng seat, maiwan ka muna, tapos ako muna o-order
Oo.
gano'n.
Oo.
Do'n kasi you can leave your things on the table and then pagbalik mo andun pa rin siya. So
Mm.
yun yung pinagre-reserve ng seat minsan is their phone or ano. So I tried it several times para lang to prove, no, to prove a point that Dubai
Right,
is safe.
right.
In my head, like I've been hearing stories about it. So sige nga, try natin. So, the first time I've ever been there, I left my laptop on the table and my phone.
Mm.
Okay naman. Pagbalik ko, andun pa sila. And
Akala
I
ko.
still do it. Like, recently, ganun pa rin.
Oo.
Pinang-reserve ko ng seat yung phone ko. Pinatang ko sa table. Okay naman. Pagbalik ko, andun pa siya.
Okay. Akala ko, iniwan mo yung phone mo, yun, tapos pagbalik, kailangan mo na ng bagong phone.
Hindi naman ganon.
Oo,
Hindi naman
oo.
ganon. Plus, you
That's
can
good.
wear your golds, by the way. Kasi here, di ba, parang we are so apprehensive about wearing your gold. So, doon, you
Tama.
can wear it
Tama.
entire.
Tama. I think it's the
You can
norm
wear it
there to just
everywhere.
wear gold, right? Uy, wala akong
Correct.
pasalubong na gold. Ah. Sabi ko sa'yo, pahingi
Oo
ng
nga eh.
gold.
Hindi ako nakapag-hukay, pasensya na.
Gusto ko yung ngipin. Yung isang ngipin.
Oh
Gold sa ngipin. Gusto ko yun.
oh my God, you cannot make me laugh like this.
Ay, sorry. Sorry, sorry.
You
Prim
guys
and
look like
proper ka
good.
nga pala.
Oh my
Sorry, my
God.
bad, my bad. My
I
bad.
know, I know. Sisira image natin pag tumawa ako dito.
No. Alam mo,
Okay.
ako I've heard of, okay, sorry to cut off your laughter kasi baka
Alam mo,
mag-snowball.
alam mo, in fairness, hindi ako na-inform na interview ko pala to.
Yan ang gusto mo i-share ko, hindi pa nga ako nakakapunta doon. But anyway, sige.
Sige, pag ikaw naman i-interviewin ko.
Sige, interview ko to ng ano,
Kwentuhan din tayo.
Tipolo, ganun, Quezon City. Ganun. So, okay. As a real estate professional, as a broker, and all of these things, real estate enthusiasts na nga ako, tayo eh, not, aside
Mhm.
from, ang dami kong na-reeling na good things about, Dubai property. Like for example, first na naalala ko off the top of my head laging, very favorable yung tax laws. So Dubai
Mhm.
has very very favorable tax laws for property investors. So like no property tax, no stamp duty, no capital gains. So it's a very free market for real estate, which I think would contribute to, di ba sabi nga ni Adam Smith in, the invisible hand of free market competition. Hi sa nanay mo na economics professor. But yeah, it's my favorite. It's really moving the free market towards that of the benefit of the buyer and the consumer. Ang ganda.
Yeah.
Sobrang, you could just invest in real estate, not think about all of these things. That's, well, again, that's just what I've read. And
Yeah.
so maybe you could talk about what are your favorite real estate features in Dubai. Show videos also if you want.
Yeah, I'll show you video. So the first is of course, I don't know. I think very emotional ako when I see Burj Khalifa. I don't know bakit, but
Okay.
I think it's the most distinct real estate there na pag nakita mo yung Khalifa, parang alam mo na nasa Dubai ka. So
Yeah.
yun,
I mean, it is.
yun
It is.
talaga. Like any angle yata ng Burj Khalifa, tinitaken ko ng picture. Kahit yung top lang yung nakikita. So yung tinitaken ko siya ng picture. It makes me really emotional. Parang sobrang nakaka-happy nakikita ko yung Burj Khalifa. Kind of like the same feeling that I have when I see Mount Mayon. As you know, I grew up in Legazpi
Right, right,
City.
right.
So, kind of like that feeling. So, this is the second time I felt that way. So, Mount Mayon, to sunod is Burj Khalifa. So, yung
Uh,
ganong feeling. So, sobrang happy ka to be alive and to see this magnificent structure, parang
right,
ganun. But
right.
this time,
Nice.
it's it's man-made, no, compared to Mount Mayon. Okay, by the way, shout out sa mga nanonood ng mga taga Bicol. Ayan. Stay safe.
Ayan. Stay safe.
Ayan.
Oo, grabe.
Di
Yung
ba?
alert.
Around
I
Mount
I mean,
Mayon.
Burj Khalifa is really the poster boy of
Yes.
Dubai properties. So I mean Dubai
Keychains, di
real
ba?
estate.
Keychains.
Keychains, 'di ba? I
Hindi
mean,
ko makasalubong sa'yo, di
ano
ba?
yan eh, Camel, Burj Khalifa. Yun eh. Tapos Dubai jacket or Dubai t-shirt. Yan lang yan.
Correct, correct. Yun
Or
talaga yan.
gold ng ngipin. Gusto ko ng gold ng ngipin. Sorry.
That's like on the 100 of the list. Like, oh my
Talaga
God.
ba?
Nobody ever thought of that, you know?
Imagine
Oh,
mag-podcast tapos kumikinang yun dito. Sorry ka na.
oh my God.
Okay. Sige, so I mean, okay, so
Hindi pa.
yeah, Burj Khalifa. I mean, oh, by the way, gusto ko lang i-comment yung whole, country last to city girl story happening here. You told me about, waking up in, with the vision of, with the visual of
Oh
Mayon
yeah.
as a
Yeah.
child, and then now you
Yeah.
are elsewhere, the other side of the world, and
Yes, that's
one of the most
true. That's
developed
true.
countries.
No,
Congrats to
also
you.
ever since I was a kid, I already knew that I will not grow old in the city where I grew up in. But every day nakikita ko sa balcony ng room ko, mayon talaga. Like sobrang sobrang nakaka-happy kasi. I mean, I'm not sure if you've ever been to Legazpi City, Lloyd. So if you ever want to
No, I
visit,
haven't. I haven't.
yun yung sasabihin ko. Please take a look. A very good look at Mount Mayon. It's
Okay
very
lang.
ano tawag doon? Majestic. Kasi yun yung tawag
Yeah.
nila, di ba? Majestic Mount Mayon. Yeah.
Majestic Mount Mayon. Correct.
Yeah. So, yun. So, Burj Khalifa. And then, ano pang ibang real estate? Yun, Marina. Marina is an address that I really, really love to have. We usually stay there. Because Marina is, there's a man-made kasi, I think it's a lake, no? If I'm not mistaken. So, it's a man-made structure there. And then sobrang dami, puro high rise yung nandoon. So knowing me, the cityscape person that I am. So it's really nice having that water feature and
Yeah.
then high rise yung nasa paligid. And then you
Ganda.
can jog. And I think it's an 8-kilometer stretch of
Mm.
jogging path. So na ang kinakaya ko lang hanggang 5 kilometers by the way.
Malayo na
Pero
yun, ah. Fairness naman to you.
malayo na yun.
Oo.
Okay, so yun yung sobrang love ko sa Dubai
Cool.
ng mga real estate. Then of
Hopefully
course
si
Dubai Mall.
hopefully si Direct flashed the video of what you I could precisely imagine in my head because you sent me a video.
Yes,
Or you sent me a video of that. I mean that
yes,
that water feature that you were talking about with the high
yes.
rise. Yeah, so very beautiful. I mean, pag iniisip ko mukhang Eastwood, alam mo yun. Yun yung unang pumasok sa isip ko,
Um,
mga Eastwood.
yung
Pero
closest. I think wala tayong closest here eh. Kind of like BGC but with water feature. Siguro ganon. Diba? Kasi
siguro,
puro high rise and then
siguro.
there's water in the middle.
Yeah.
Yun. Kind of like that.
Wow. Parang yun ay siguro yung, or McKinley, I don't know. Well,
Pwede,
uh,
pwede. Medyo ganon.
uh,
Yeah. And then
McKinley.
just add up more
I think, baka,
buildings.
medyo ganun. Kahit yung color scheme ng McKinley, medyo ganun eh. So,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
think, doon nakuha ni Mr. Kevin Tan. Kevin Tan, siya talaga yung nag-conceptualize. Pero baka, I mean, baka, feeling ko lang, it was inspired by that as well. Although, syempre, Italy yung theme niya, di ba?
Yes.
Right. And also,
So
maybe the
yeah,
Bay Area in the future, if,
the Bay Area,
if
correct.
that happens, right? So, that could
Although,
be.
ang maganda kasi sa Bay Area, it's not man-made. So, talagang
Ganun ba? Hindi, joke lang. Oo. Yeah.
mag-agree pa ako eh. As if.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so
Yeah.
how about yung mga infrastructure? Okay, so ito, alam niyo naman na syempre here in the Philippines, ang dami kong nakikita ngayon. Now that
Mm.
we are now back to work, quote unquote,
Yes.
right? So people
Yeah.
have now been going, kami for example, 100% back to reporting
Yeah.
to on-site operations na kami. So now infrastructure has reared its ugly head once again of yung Philippine infrastructure of
Mm.
for commuters in so I've seen many posts about the transport infrastructure, commuting, and all of these
Yes.
things. So I'm sure anong mga kwentong Dubai when it comes to transport infrastructure.
Okay, so ikukwento ko muna yung ano. So, kind of like here, I forgot yung meaning ng TNVS. So, there's also TNVS, yung ride sharing app. Is it
Yeah,
yun?
yeah, yeah.
So, there's Uber there. Meron pa rin Uber there. And then there's Careem. So, merong dalawang pagpipilian when it comes to the ride sharing app. So, yun is quite expensive. So, for example, I'm going from point A to point B. Let's say, ang distance lang is Makati to BGC para lang mas, may idea lang tayo. So, from Makati to BGC, that would probably be 100 dirhams. So, that's around 1,500 pesos.
Mm.
Makati to BGC. So, that's very expensive. Kasi, di ba, from Makati
Yeah.
to BGC, you're taking a ride-sharing app, that would probably be around, let's say, 200
300.
pesos.
300.
So, yun yung medyo mahal doon. So, if you're traveling na medyo malayo, well, umasa ka na medyo mahal nga yung, yung babayaran mo. But, what's so good about Dubai is their trains. So, yung train kasi nila, yun naman sobrang mura. And you can, kasi from the farthest point, from the farthest point A to the farthest point B, that's like, maybe around 2 hours lang, Lloyd. So that's not, kasi di ba, Dubai is not as big as Manila nga. So, 2 hours lang. Mararating mo na yung magkabilang dulo. Kaya nga, sabi ko sa'yo, you can visit your friends, 5 of your friends in different places in one day because of that
Right. Cool.
means of transportation.
Mm.
And it's cheaper than taking a ride sharing app. So that's what what I really love about it. Tapos hindi ka ngayon parang pagod na pagod kasi literal na every 2 minutes, may train sa harap mo. So you're not in a hurry. Yung hindi kagaya ng hindi mo sure kung darating yung train or whatever. But there, kasi may nakalagay doon na timer na
Nice.
at exactly 2 minutes, nandyan sa harap mo yung train. And then,
Right.
so this is what I love about the trains naman. Another thing that I love, kasi
Yeah.
there's the gold card holders, and then there's the silver card holders. So the silver card is like the regular cabin, and then there's the gold one. Of course, there's the people of determination and the pregnant women and the women na cabin. But what I like is yung gold card naman. Kaya lang it's twice the fare, twice as
Yeah.
much than the
Mm.
silver. Pero it's really comfortable kasi nga
I
constantly
suppose. Dapat
yun.
lang.
So if I'm traveling na medyo malayo, I
Mm.
usually take the train and take the gold card.
Uh,
So comfortably seated ka, ganyan. So I think I sent you a video of that. Meron din akong video, I think. We can flash that.
yeah.
Para lang
That's
makita
cool.
kung how it looks like for the gold card
Right.
cabin, I
And
think.
also to note kasi when it comes to like you were doing a whole comparison about the NVS ride hailing apps.
Feeling pala, sorry. Hindi
Uh
pala ride sharing.
and not necessarily sharing kasi that. But I
Okay.
mean that's the same thing. Anyway, you were doing a comparison of that, and it's more you mentioned it's more expensive to do it in Dubai. But yeah, I think although there is there's a smaller disparity between, the wages of the people there and the cost of living as compared to here in the Philippines, how would I say it's more pronounced the it's more
Yeah.
pronounced the disparity between
Yeah.
the daily wage and cost of living. So I think if you were working in Dubai, then this would be a very practical thing for you
Correct.
to do, right? Anyway, but here in the Philippines, it's considered more of a luxury. So
Mm,
I mean, hopefully I'm very hopeful about the future eco cities that are being built
that's
and
true.
'di ba? Like Anong example ko? Sige. Hula. Anong example of the eco city? Oh, anyway.
Um, well, guess lang to baka
Uh,
nuclear city. Pero
baka wild guess na.
hindi ako sure.
Yes, correct. No, but yun, jokes aside, right? I am hopeful for all of those eco cities wherein you could live there, live, work, play, thrive, and learn all in one
Yeah,
city. Hopefully, it's
yeah.
walkable as how BGC is right now. Hopefully, it's
Depends
bikeable at least.
depends on who you're talking to about the walkable.
Yeah. Okay, sige. Okay, that's a nice shade. I don't like to walk. That's people, my friends would know. But uh, if the condition kasi naman I just dislike walking kasi nga it's not conducive here in Metro Manila and
Kasi
where
nga
I
yung
work.
pause and all, di ba?
And the general safety of it dahil nga tas ang lalayo, it's not really made for pedestrians kasi. So that's why I prefer to drive. But if a city had that inculcated in its actual design philosophy,
Correct.
'di ba? And then
Mm.
nag-succeed naman eh. BGC naman kahit papaano mukhang papunta na doon, 'di ba? Uh,
It's also walkable, by the way. Kasi
sorry?
Makati. Biases.
Makati.
Talking about biases. Oh,
Makati
Makati. Kasi
siguro, oo,
there's
siguro sabihin natin.
office, tapos may mga, ano tawag doon? Underpass.
Very
Ganyan.
minute kasi yung tinitignan mong part ng Makati eh. Very minute yung
The
sinasabi
CBD
mo.
lang. The
Oo nga,
CBD.
the CBD. But if you go to the other less developed parts and it's not walkable. Gusto mo
Yeah.
magripuhan. Alam mo yun, may mga ganong concerns. So hopefully, so hopefully in the future, for our children's children, hopefully it would be better for them. Have walkable cities like Dubai, world-class infrastructure, modern airports, high-speed rail networks. What pretty much what you said, wide network of roads and highways,
Yeah.
modern tollways. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty much it. And and I
Mm.
think this would all be fueled by strong economic growth. And
Yes.
I think that's just really what makes Dubai tick. And a lot of issues in the government, but
And
that's what
political
it is.
will. I will
Political
I
will,
would
yes.
like to add that. Although I
Very,
remain
very correct. Yeah.
political, but that's what I've noticed. The
Thank you,
political will
thank
is
you.
very strong.
I was looking for that term. Yes, political will.
Yeah.
And kasi I think naman we have the resources to back it up. Eh.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, uh, any similarities and differences of Dubai and Philippine real estate that you'd want to mention?
Oh, kasi I did not mention this earlier. So I mentioned that though I did mention about culture.
Mm-mm.
So actually ang Filipinos in Dubai have the second highest number of population. So I think we're already at 1 million people
Yeah.
in Dubai.
Wow.
Oh,
That's a lot of
Filipinos.
people. It's a lot of
Yes, 1
Filipinos, yeah.
million Filipinos in Dubai. So, I think, isa sa mga similarity na napapansin ko, anywhere I go in Dubai, I don't even have to speak English. Kasi
Right.
parang puro Filipino rin naman yung makaka-interact mo. So, that's one similarity, I suppose, is the
No,
language
okay,
we
no.
use.
Okay, sige.
Oo.
But
So,
real estate
yun.
I was talking about.
Oo. Sorry. Yun. So, um, but in terms of real estate, I think, mabilis din kasi tayong mag-develop. But the bilis would be very relative. For example, with Dubai, I believe 1 year lang gawa na nila yung mga buildings nila sa atin kasi medyo mas matagal, maabot ng
Right,
2 years.
right.
But my
Yeah.
point is, mabilis tayong mag-propose ng mga developments, and you will also see it. For example, the case of BGC, 'di ba? Several years ago, like siguro 10 to 20 years ago, hindi naman ganyan yung itsura niya. And a lot of people are saying this to me na parang, talaga, you live in BGC and it doesn't look like that before. Kasi especially our friends who are already based abroad, parang nagugulat sila na, ito, BGC na pala to. And before, it was just like grassland or whatever they call it, ganyan. So, yun. So, mabilis. Same with Dubai na parang, although again we kinda hindi ko naman pwedeng sabihin na pales in comparison, but in terms kasi of resources sobrang mabilis talaga sila. Okay, so magte-trivia ako sa iyo, Lloyd.
Mm.
Kasi 'di ba, for example, transfer of title yan, so for
Yeah.
brokers out there, so transfer of title here in the Philippines siguro pinakamabilis na 2 months.
Mm.
And then depende kung saan, right? 2 months, and then depende kung saan. For
Yeah.
example, some would probably take 6, maybe 8 months. Doon, hulaan mo kung ano yung timeline for transferring a title.
Siguro mga 3 weeks. Okay.
3 weeks.
Oo.
Okay. Okay, so yan. Tingnan din natin yung mga comments ng mga audience natin kung ano yung hula nila.
Ah,
But it actually takes, tadan, 15 minutes to
wow.
transfer the title.
Grabe.
And
Grabe.
yeah, and ang required lang is
15
valid
minutes. What?
yung ID, yung Emirates ID ni seller and Emirates ID ni buyer. And takes 15 minutes and you're done. That's it. Transfer na yung title.
Grabe.
So yun yung major difference.
Oo.
Ease of doing business naman, yung transaction.
Right.
Transaction comes to real estate transactions,
Oo.
obviously. Yun yung medyo kailangan talaga natin. Hindi lang medyo, kailangan talaga nating i-improve when it comes to doing real estate transactions
Oo.
in the kasi talagang yung timelines natin medyo
Oo. Correct.
medyo medyo mahaba. Yun. Another similarity in terms of real estate, siguro yung the way that we sell, siguro it's pretty much universal, the way that we offer real estate, ganyan. But ang major difference nga is, as you mentioned earlier, yung mga taxations, yung mga incentives, even for foreign buyers. Kasi, Lloyd, di ba, in the Philippines,
Mm.
only Filipinos can own landed properties. In Dubai kasi no. They have what they call as ano tawag dito? Parang mga free ano ba tawag nito? Freehold nila. May mga areas specifically um sold to foreign buyers.
Wow. Amazing.
Landed. Pero hindi ito buong Dubai. Meron lang mga
Right,
specific.
right. Of course.
Which is in the Philippines kasi, anywhere, you cannot. You cannot
Yeah.
buy a property if you're a foreigner. You can only buy, di ba, condos. So, doon hindi. Kaya marami doon ng mga residents, ng mga investors doon na
Mm-mm.
hindi, na foreign
Right.
investors.
Tama.
Oo. So,
I think
yun
it's
yung mga,
yeah. That's a good point. I mean,
I think we can also do that in the Philippines, but not the entire Philippines.
kaya nga eh, kaya
Maybe
nga
zones lang,
right nga
ganyan.
I think it's maybe based on what you said, it's high time to revisit our real estate policies,
Mm,
governing real estate policies like that. And you could imagine like sa akin kasi parang if a country such as Dubai, which has very limited land area,
yeah,
could do
yeah,
this,
correct.
imagine the Philippines has this very big surplus of
Hands.
undeveloped real estate, di ba?
Yeah.
And sana i-consider din natin yun for those. I think it could propel the real estate market and the industry in general, and actually the economy in general,
Yeah.
by leaps and bounds if we
Yeah.
ever at least reconsider this, or for foreign ownership, or
Meron
something
din
something
naman
to
eh,
that
yung
regard.
mga townhouses, Lloyd, na mga naka-CCT, meron din naman, but very limited. Landed pero CCT. Merong mga ganon in some parts of the
Yeah.
Philippines.
Okay,
But
but
not TCT kasi. Oo.
my point being is that it's not that is a workaround, I say. What you're talking
Yeah,
about is a
that's
workaround.
true.
But
Hindi siya talaga,
what I'm talking
oo.
about is an actual policy change. Okay?
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully it gets discussed in the future, 'di ba? Sige.
I will say no further.
Okay. Really?
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, so yun, it's a very good ano. Anyway, we have 7,641 islands to be exact. So, kayang-kaya nating mag-provide, mag-allocate ng mga spaces or mga areas for foreign na landed, no, for foreign
Mm.
investors.
Mm.
And yeah, and again, I think it's high time to to open up more of our, real estate outside of Metro Manila and outside of the major cities. Kasi marami naman tayong mga let's say Dumaguete, di ba? Dumaguete is, sabi nila, is the number one retirement place in Asia, I think, if I'm
Mm.
not mistaken with that statistics. So yun.
Mm.
So we have places like that. A
Yeah, nga.
lot of actually
Mm.
in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Diba? Retirement areas.
I think this is a polarizing conversation for sure for most of our listeners, and eventually
That's true.
if it becomes an open conversation for our legislators, and I'm sure it would be a polarizing one, but I know where I will stand when it comes to this issue, I suppose. Yeah,
Yes,
and
that's
you know,
true.
I mean, kita mo niya naman eh, 'di ba sa Dubai nga, all of well, pretty much like Singapore, 'di ba? Puro mga vertical developments. But here in the
Yeah.
Philippines, we have so much room for horizontal. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's it's high time really to be able to discuss that.
Yes, that's true.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, that's pretty much it. Thank you for walking us through your whole Dubai experience, Ice, and we really appreciate it. Any last words that you want to share, or before we end the session?
Ayun. So I think so for all of our listeners who are real estate practitioners, I also encourage you to travel not only, not only in your area, but also not only abroad but also in the Philippines. Kasi this is what I learned, Lloyd, no, when we launched Oros Real Estate. Yes, may pasimple tayo doon. When we launched Oros, I realized that there are so many places I haven't been to because of the pandemic. For
Right.
example, Quezon City, I haven't visited that since forever. And then it was only recently na parang talagang na-appreciate ko na mag-ikot sa Quezon City. Ito pala yun. And then a lot of things have developed because I've already pretty much lived in every city in Metro Manila. And I realized that because of the pandemic, we didn't really have too much access, no? Or we have very limited access in visiting those places. And ang dami nang nagbago. And marami na palang magagandang developments outside of Makati and BGC.
Mm,
So okay, so for those would-be buyers naman dyan, for our would-be clients, can also take a good look at surrounding areas. So not only Makati and BGC, but also let's say Pasig, Quezon City, Mandaluyong. These are the places where during the pandemic and after the pandemic, nag-boom masyado. Maraming bagong developments na itinatayo. So let's take a good look as well.
yeah.
And of course, it's always good to travel. Yun yung mga learnings ko kasi you get to not only a fresher perspective about yourself but also a fresher perspective about investments and ano yung best practices when it comes to investments. And I realized really it's real estate never changes. I mean, I'm happy, Lloyd, that we are both in real estate kasi
Mm,
we've pretty much we're pretty much set for life kasi real estate will still always be the best investment that when it comes to saving your money and having a hedge against inflation.
yeah.
Yan, especially ngayon na sobrang 'di ba merong ano ba tawag nito, merong sinasabi silang magkakaroon ng recession, so to save your money, that's real
Yeah.
estate's the way to go.
Great. Great. I appreciate the sales pitch on behalf of our company. Just kidding. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Ice, and of course your insights as well. When it comes to travel and relating it to how we should be leveraging this the insights that we come up with for travel, and we leverage it for the future, for being future proof, as you mentioned. And that could only be done again through real estate. Diba? Yes naman. Okay. Sige, so from the both of us, from myself, I'm Lloyd Cunanan. My partner is Calderon. We are from Oris Real Estate. And of course, our friends over at Negosentro and Property Finance Asia, thank you for tuning in to this very Kuwentuhan episode of the Daily Broker Podcast. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye.